Multiple departments. I mean, right next to me is the Perry Township Fire Department. I've seen Beaver Township, Springfield, multiple fire departments and police assisting in this very active scene. Now, the fire does seem to be down a little bit. 2 hazmat trucks have been called, Norfolk Southern as well as Beaver Township. So I'm working to gather more information. I'll be here all night finding those details. Live in East Palestine, Megan Lee, WKBN 27 First News. Did just get out of a meeting with the Assistant Law Director Tracy Timko as well as Captain Robert Masucci with the Warren Police Department, and they now have identified the victim as 37-year-old Bryce Hilton from Farrell. Larry tells me that this is much more than solving the flooding issue here in Boardman Township. He says that this plan is going to bring a new park for the residents here. I wish I could give them another snow day because they were having so much fun out there. But who knows what tomorrow will bring. I know we have some cold temps, high winds tonight, and right now we are seeing lots of rain, which could turn into ice. A blocked intersection due to a train isn't causing issues just for first responders. Also Donavito's, which is located right next to the railroad tracks, and their customers actually have to park directly across from the tracks, and sometimes they can't get to their cars or to the restaurant. As you can see behind me, there are various fire trucks from multiple departments in the area, and the chief tells me that their help was crucial in fighting these flames. Okay, so we've been talking a lot about these Italian delicacies. I think we need to eat a cannoli, right?
Of course.
Okay, all right, so here we are. We have these yummy looking cannolis, all right. Oh, holy cannoli, that's good. Flowers straight from the heart, located on North Market Street in East Palestine, sits empty Friday afternoon. The owner tells me when it comes to orders, last year she had
40 to 50, and I have 3 today. My phone has not rang at all, so I don't know, are people just going to avoid coming into town?
Joy Masher has owned the flower shop for nearly 10 years. Her first thought when the train derailed last Friday was,
what now? That's what I thought. After COVID and going through that, and now this. So it's been a real struggle. It's a very important time for us, being Valentine's Day, and our business is struggling horribly.
Masher says she's feeling lost.
I don't know if I should be cleaning. I don't know if I should throw stuff away. It's very scary.
According to the EPA, the air is safe. However, the agency is conducting air tests for residents and business owners. Masher tells me that in order to keep her customers and employees safe here at the flower shop, she will keep her doors closed until she can get the air quality inspection done. She tells me she has made multiple phone calls, but has yet to hear back.
I want to be safe for me, my workers, my customers that come in, our shop cat, everybody. I want to know that it's safe.
As for now, a sign sits outside of the flower shop that reads, "Please pray for EP and our future."
Is our little town going to become a ghost town? We're a tight-knit community. Everybody pulls for everybody, and it's sad. It's sad to see this happen.
Many businesses on North Market Street are temporarily closed due to the aftermath of the derailment as well. In East Palestine, Megan Lee, WKBN 27 First News. And many people I talked to were so concerned about what to do with their dogs when they were told to evacuate. I talked to a bunch of people that were staying at the Holiday Inn, which is located at South Ave and 224 in Boardman, and they tell me that they were grateful for that hotel in a time of need.
I wasn't leaving my dogs. I told my husband, you guys can go to the hotel. I'll stay in the car with the dogs because I wasn't leaving them. They're my babies. They literally are my little babes.
Something Neely Jack of East Palestine didn't have to do with her 3 dogs. The Holiday Inn in Boardman quickly changed its pet policy when the staff heard of the train derailment.
We are not a pet-friendly hotel, but morally, what am I gonna? I mean, I'm not gonna tell no. It's just not. It's not in my nature, and it's not in the nature of my staff to deny that.
According to the hotel manager, Mike Mock, about 100 rooms are occupied by evacuees. The hotel even has a room filled with donated goods to make the guest stay a little easier.
They have been so sweet and kind and just dealt with all this without being mean and nasty with us.
Barry Walker is having a similar experience as Jack.
9 o'clock Sunday morning, the sheriff's department's knocking at our door, saying you have to evacuate.
Walker tells me he called 8 hotels asking if his dog could stay. He was turned away by all except for the Holiday Inn.
You know, how do you say thank you to a guy like this? And he's turning rooms over to the kids and rooms over for us.
Everyone at the hotel says it's turned into a mini East Palestine, with people just coming together at a time of uncertainty.
Normally we could be at capacity and our lobby is empty. Our lobby is bustling and is full of life the last several days.
The manager, Mike Mock, tells me he was going to work with the residents of East Palestine to make sure that they did have a place to stay. Now, we did hear Governor DeWine say that some people might not be ready to go home tonight, so I'm sure that the hotel is working with those residents and their pups tonight as they try to navigate this return to home.
55-year-old Kevin Mallard stood in front of Judge Ronald Rice in Trumbull County today. He not only heard his sentencing, but he also heard from the victim's mother as well as a police officer about this scary incident.
Kevin Mallard listened to Trumbull County Judge Ronald Rice Tuesday afternoon. Mallard was convicted of multiple charges after police say he shot an innocent young man in the head and then had a shootout with police.
You stole a normal life from Zachary Lamar Woods. He will have to live the rest of his life with the horrific, disfiguring, and permanent physical and psychological injuries you solely inflicted upon him.
Judge Rice sentenced Mallard to 68 to 73.5 years in prison for his actions. People impacted by his actions also spoke in court.
And I pray that God guides you and change your heart and to forgive yourself for what you did that day.
I can hear my brother's voice over the radio screaming, "Shots fired." I've never experienced a sense of urgency to get anywhere so fast in my life. My heart just sunk.
Officer Kitchen said the 4 officers involved prevented anyone else from being harmed.
But God was on our side, and what God has in store for us, you cannot take away from us.
You, Mr. Mallard, are not a person with mental illness that committed a crime because of your mental illness. Lots of people in this country suffer from and deal with their mental illness daily without guns or violence.
Mallard apologized to his victims.
I humbly and sincerely apologize for the actions taken against Zachary on that day.
Judge Rice closed out his remarks by saying that Mallard will never be able to harm somebody in our society ever again. Live in the newsroom, Megan Lee, WKBN 27 First News.
A 1928 Ford Tri-Motor sat on the runway at the Youngstown Warren Regional Airport Thursday morning, ready for 2 days of flying. And there were some special passengers.
Rewind back to 1976. I was a 12-year-old Boy Scout, and our Scoutmaster wanted to camp over at South Bass Island. He wasn't real big on boats, so he decided to fly the scout troop over on the Ford Tri-Motor.
That was Colonel Jeff Van Duding's first time on a plane.
My attention went from the wheel to the ground, and I saw, we were climbing away. The houses were getting smaller, the cars were getting smaller. And yeah, I just knew right there and then that that's what I wanted to do for the rest of my life.
Van Duding even remembers his exact seat. However, this time he entered the plane and headed straight for the cockpit. Also aboard the plane was 8-year-old Stephen Hillman, a frequent flyer.
So do you love planes?
Yeah.
Why?
Because my dad's fly them and I want to fly them when I grow up. And they're just so fun. They take you everywhere so fast.
The EAA believes this flying piece of history can inspire many young children to become pilots. Members of the Civil Air Patrol were in attendance as well, which Van Duding was involved with in high school before the Air Force Academy.
It's just cool how he became a colonel from being a cadet in Civil Air Patrol. And he was 12 like how I was. And now I could just be like him.
Van Duding reflected on his career that all started on this very plane.
I could combine my love of country with my love of flying, and I've married those two up, and here I am, coming up on 38 years in retirement, and it's just been a wonderful honor to serve.
The EAA is welcoming folks to come experience history. I mean, it was a fabulous day. They'll be at the Youngstown Warren Regional Airport again tomorrow from 9 until 5. Last night, Village Council met to discuss the next steps. First News reporter Anna Marzik is live in Lisbon, going in depth. Good morning, Anna. Turning now to a First News follow-up at 7:05. The man convicted of shooting and blinding another man before a shootout with police will spend years in prison. The chaotic scene took place right in the middle of a busy Liberty intersection last June. 55-year-old Kevin Mallard was sentenced to 68 to 73.5 years in prison. Investigators say Mallard shot Zachary Woods in the head before exchanging gunfire with police. Woods is just 20 years old and now blind in both eyes. Mallard was also wounded in the gunfire. On April 5th, the movie Air will be released, and it has a Youngstown connection that's pretty cool. Sonny Vaccaro, played by Matt Damon, is the protagonist in the story. In the 1950s, Vaccaro went to what was then Youngstown University, playing football and recruiting for the basketball team. Afterward, he started a basketball tournament in Pittsburgh and then worked for Nike. That's where the story begins. Vaccaro is the person who suggested Nike make a shoe line centered around one athlete, Michael Jordan. You know these shoes as Jordans, which all started with scholarships to Youngstown University. Research teams at Purdue University are testing contaminated creek water near the site of the East Palestine train derailment. They found multiple chemicals they say others are not testing for. Professor Andrew Welton and several students collected water samples from the village. Now they're analyzing those samples. Having trouble with your taxes? Artificial intelligence may be able to help. Good afternoon and thanks for joining us on First News at Noon. I'm Megan Lee and for Chelsea Spears. Yesterday, we saw snow, rain, wind, and I even saw some pockets of sunshine. What's the rest of our Thursday going to look like? Here's Storm Team 27 Chief Meteorologist Paul Wetzel. Paul, we're still seeing some of those elements today.
Yeah.
Good evening, I'm Megan Lee. I'm glad you're with us tonight on First News at 11. The man in charge of the Norfolk Southern Railroad returned to East Palestine to see for himself how the cleanup of the train derailment and subsequent controlled release is going. An explosion earlier today shook many homes in the valley. Many of you even called the station and sent in emails wondering what it was. Here's First News reporter Anna Marzik with details on what you heard. Now we go back to the latest on the train derailment. Members of FEMA are on their way to East Palestine to provide assistance as the village continues to recover. A spokesman with the agency says several members are expected to enter the village within the next couple of days. This comes after Governor Mike DeWine announced the agency will deploy a senior response official and a regional incident management assistance team to support ongoing operations.
I'd be fine with either.
I don't know.
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't like either of them.
I don't know enough about either team.
How about favorite Super Bowl food?
Oh, buffalo chicken dip.
Skyline dip.
Okay, yeah, you're a true Cincinnati girl.
Said by a Cincinnati.
Yes, what about you?
Oh, wings all day.
Yes,
all day.
yeah. Oh, I'm excited for that tomorrow. That's it for 27 First News at 11. You get the latest news 24 hours a day on our website, WKBN.com. Thanks for joining us.